Hi guys, it's Phoebe from Who's Phoebe and welcome back to another Doctor Who video. So, as you know, I am doing 24 days of Doctor Who where I review 24 Doctor Who classic stories from 1963 onwards as we continue our little countdown to Christmas. Now today's story is a 7-part story called Doctor and the Silurians. I will not be writing that in my title. It will be the Doctor and the Silurians because I feel like that is probably a little bit more better. I'm kind of pissed off with the way they did that. But anyway, so if you've never seen my face on the screen before, please click the red subscribe button down below. Also click the notification bell so you get notifications every single time I upload. With further ado, let's get on with the video. So before we get into the main review, let me just explain how I do these reviews. I do these I do positives and negatives, and this is day number 14, so we're really there, really. So yeah, I do positives and negatives, and then I give a score out of 10. Basically, that's how these work. So yeah, so a little bit of context. So the Silurians aren't invaders. They have never been invaders. They are literally the original inhabitants of planet Earth, and the Doctor has met them 3 times. In this story, the Doctor and the Silurians, Warriors of the Deep, the 5th Doctor, and of course my favourite 2-part story, The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood. So the 3rd, 5th and 11th Doctors have met the Silurians before, and all the Silurians want to do is live in peace. They want to live side by side with the humans because they have some really advanced technology. Of course, this species of Silurians that the Doctor meets are basically rogue species, so they make a virus that would wipe the whole human race out, and the Silurian leader, when the Doctor goes into these caves to basically discover what is going on around here, the Silurian leader lets the Doctor go because he doesn't see the Doctor as a threat. He sees the Doctor as a willing ambassador to basically tell the humans that the Silurians want to live in peace and that they mean no harm to anybody. They basically, all the Silurians want to do is live in peace. They've got some really cool random technology, and that would be a really good thing for the human race, and the Doctor sees it like that way. He sees like the Silurians want to live in peace and they're not a vicious race, they never have been. So yeah, it kind of escalates from there. So the Silurian leader gives the Doctor this virus that would wipe out all the human race. And the Silurian leader wants the Doctor to basically find a cure. So a cure because that's what his partners are going to do. They're going to wipe out the human race with this virus. And the Doctor naturally takes this virus and takes it and goes to analyse it. And as this is doing so, Liz Shaw makes sort of a vaccine for everyone at unit and people where they are, because they're not actually in the unit base. They're in like a moor kind of thing, so she uses antibiotics to basically stabilise anyone who hasn't got it and make sure that their immune system is basically strong, because this is a completely alien physiology kind of virus. And unfortunately the virus does get out into the world and it does start infecting people. Sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it? But yeah, so the Doctor is desperately trying to find a cure at this point, and he does pretty much everything in his power to basically find a cure. And one of the Silurians has killed their leader because they don't trust their leader, and they know full well that the humans aren't going to agree to share the planet. And basically those Silurians want to cause a massacre, which, as we know, the Doctor doesn't really allow. Now, I prefer these original Silurians. I love the Peter Davison ones as well, mostly because they didn't really change the design much, apart from those awful flappy things that the Silurians had. I don't understand those. Matt Smith ones I'm not really a massive fan of because they're green. So yeah. The Doctor at this point is desperately trying to find a way of stopping the Brigadier from destroying them, because he thinks that there's a lot of fascinating stuff around, and he basically wants to keep it that way, if you like. He wants to make sure that the Silurians get a fair shot, that they share the planet equally with the humans, because we could actually live in peace with the Silurians if we could. And obviously the planet needs to be shared, and that is absolutely fine. Silurians have some really cool tech. There was some really cool tech down in the caves that the Doctor had to mooch around with and really kind of began to understand. Unfortunately, towards the end, the Silurians do kidnap the Doctor once again and tell him exactly what their plans are. The virus is basically to wipe out the human race in every way and to make sure that the planet is uninhabitable. Because Silurians, because they are reptiles, so they are cold-blooded, so they can basically live on a really, really warm planet. So because the Doctor made the antidote for the virus, the Silurians are naturally going to be unhappy about this, and you know, they're naturally going to be unhappy about this. They aren't happy. They don't want to share the planet. Why would they? They are the original inhabitants of the planet. They don't want to share it. They aren't going to share. They aren't going to share the planet. They won't share the planet. They're not going to. They want to claim the planet for themselves. And naturally, of course, this is going to cause a little bit of friction between everything, between humans and Silurians. So yeah, naturally this is going to cause a little bit of friction. And what do? Oh yeah, that's right, they try and make the planet inhabitable for humans, so it kills the whole human race out. And of course, this doesn't seem right to the Doctor, and he discovers what their actual plan is, and the virus wasn't the plan. Oh no, the Silurians tricked you into thinking the virus was actually going to be, yes, ideally it would have wiped out the human race, but it wouldn't have wiped out all of the human race, because they don't know how far that virus would have spread, and they don't know how many things it killed. And because the Doctor came up with a cure, there is a good chance that there is a very good chance that all the humans would recover, because of the formula the Doctor wrote down, and because Liz gave it to, you know, a hospital, that they are going to manufacture a cure. So the plan B for the Silurians is to make the planet uninhabitable. Make it really, really hot, so all the humans die, and they can basically claim their planet back. Now, there is so many things wrong with this on so many levels. The Silurians, I love the Silurians in this story. Like, this is probably one of my favourite Silurian stories. If you ask me, like, what is my favourite Doctor Who story with the Silurians, I would probably have to say this one, because this is so clever. It's got the caves, it's got UNIT in it, and it really plays on the premise that we have another species underneath the surface of the earth that basically just want to live in peace. And I think we get so much more information about them. The Silurian era, I mean, original habits of the planet, I am totally down to learning as much as I can about these mythical creatures that live under our earth, and I will be more than happy to share the planet with them. I mean, if they can have, because of their advanced technology, it would be amazing for Earth, for the humans, and that it would be so clever. They could live in the places that aren't habitable to us, like the Australian outback. I mean, come on. This is definitely my favourite Silurian story. How much less in a while, don't know why, but I really did enjoy this. It is quite long. It is full 7 parts, and I did come back from the farm today, so I was absolutely whacked. So I managed to watch the first part, then have an hour nap, and then I carried on watching the rest. And this is sort of boring, but you do get those cliffhangers in it, and I think those cliffhangers every week would have been such kind of an intense moment. Obviously, as someone who has obviously access to every single episode of this now, it just, the cliffhangers to me, I know exactly how the cliffhangers going to conclude, because, you know, I've seen it happen before, and it's really, really clever, and I really do like this. And also, it's the first appearance of the Doctor's new car, Betty, and the Doctor can drive, which might be a surprise to some people, but he can drive. He can pilot the TARDIS, so you can presume he drives the car. So overall, this is a very good story. It's got some excellent footage. It's got some really good location shots. Really do love it. Really love the original design of the Silurians. Found them fantastic, and just in general. So overall, I would give this story a solid 10 out of 10, I think, being fair. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, and also hit the notification bell so to make sure you don't miss another video. Also, if you've missed any of these, I have made a playlist on my channel with 24 days of Doctor Who, and I keep adding new uploads. Apologies for the late upload tonight. I had an out and things escalated. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Give that one up if you did, and Alonzi.